Hello, Just Too Good here, and to celebrate the 5th year of LEGO Marvel Superheroes as a theme, I'm counting down my top 10 favorite sets released from the line from 2012 to 2016. That means none of the Spider-Man sets from the early 2000s, since they are not part of this theme. I own all the sets in the theme besides some of the promotional minifigures and polybags, and the Helicarrier set. Trust me, the Helicarrier definitely wouldn't make this list. That set is definitely not for me. I'm not a big fan of micro-scale sets. Alright, so all music tracks will be listed in the right hand corner as they play, and without further ado, let's get into this. Starting off my list is a 2015 LEGO Quinjet set from the Avengers Age of Ultron line. As a whole, it completely blows the original Quinjet out of the water, which was a good set in its own right. The only part where this is inferior to that one is the small interior. But other than that, it's more sturdy, there's better minifigures in here, more content to its price, and I like the blue and white color scheme so much more than that dull gray color scheme the last one had. The research van is also a pretty nice addition, with an exploding play feature, which works well, but there's just enough space to fit Vision in his pod inside there. This was actually the first LEGO set with Vision, and the far superior updated Black Widow minifigure. The Ultron in this set has stayed exclusive as well, and while the Iron Man and Captain America weren't even exclusive to this set at its release, it was okay since they were very detailed iterations of the characters. Alright, this one's probably going to be the most controversial pick on the list. The ninth spot on my list is taken by the Spider-Man Doc Ock Ambush set from 2012. Look, I feel this set is extremely underappreciated. This was a set that reintroduced LEGO Spider-Man back into the hands of so many of us after 8 years of absence. Sure, all of us are tired of getting this version of Spider-Man now in 2016, but for a short time, this was the only way for many of us to get a LEGO Spider-Man and Doc Ock minifigure for a decent price. There's also the neat Iron Fist minifigure, has a simple yet cartoony design that I appreciate. Actually, the same could be said with the Spider-Man minifigure in this set for that matter. Well, what about the set itself? I actually really like it for a $30 set. I still have it built to this day on my shelf. You're going to see with this list that I absolutely love play sets more than vehicle-based sets. And this is a crazy eccentric laboratory design. It's creepy and grimy, which I don't see too often with playsets. The size, it's pretty darn good for the $30 price as well. Also a little containment glass with some creepy lab tools, and even part for Spider-Man to sneak in and swoop in. I don't know, that's pretty cool in my opinion. Many won't agree with me on this one, but I think the Spider-Man Doc Ock Ambush set is a great set that really went under the radar. Actually, speaking of underrated LEGO Spidey sets, the next choice is another one. It's the Spidey Cycle Chase set from 2013. This is one of the quintessential $20 licensed LEGO sets. It was the only way to get LEGO Nick Fury and LEGO Venom at the time of its release, but it wasn't a set just for the minifigures, because it also has a really decent Spidey Cycle, even better, Nick Fury's car. The design itself is a really beautiful convertible. You see, LEGO City has some nice 4-wide vehicles for minifigures, which are fine within a LEGO City, but they tend to be a little bit weak to display alone. But this is a 6-wide civilian automobile, because it is thick. More details are able to flourish. In my opinion, that makes this a great display piece on its own, and I'm surprised at its size considering the $20 price tag. Now, maybe Civilian Vehicle isn't really the best title for this, because not only does it have a big shield logo in the front, but of course the vehicle has an easy but excellent play feature in which you can convert the car into flight mode. Top that off with the unique green design of the car, and this is a set that makes a great display piece, great play piece, and overall great value. Oh, and I also have to appreciate the little Spider Cycle. Spider-Man's vehicles in the superheroes line tend to be weak and childish, but the design for the Spidey Cycle works. I'm sure that's because of the darker color scheme, but it's also neat that, like the car, the vehicle can be converted into flight mode. Next on my list is the biggest of the LEGO Captain America Civil War sets, the Superhero Airport Battle set. It's not a complete airport, but honestly the best part of the set isn't even the playset. I freaking love the Giant Man build. Alright, it's not perfect, with the sides and the back looking pretty bad, but there's not much of a way to keep a build of him sturdy and thin enough to represent a minifigure without having those arrows, so I really don't mind how those parts look. I just adore how well the Giant Man build came out and how well it represents a giant Ant-Man minifigure. Okay, well, I wish the Ant-Man minifigure that actually came out the year before had a mouth cover like the Giant Man figure does. And the minifigures in here are actually an excellent offering. Exclusive Iron Man and War Machine suits, an updated Scarlet Witch, and our first ever Agent 13, on top of Captain America and Bucky, which, while not new, are necessary additions. And they even included an exclusive micro-figure Ant-Man, something fans have been asking for since the original Ant-Man set. That little dude actually plays in the play feature of the airport control tower, where he can be used to explode some boxes through a mouse hole. Oh, and speaking of which, the control tower and vehicle builds easily fit into LEGO cities, which is nice. Alas, the worst part of the set is the Quinjet. I mean, we got the best Quinjet yet the year before, and while this is a sturdy and even accurate to the film, it's just not exciting. The dark blue is so consistent, it gives off a plain look, and it's so compact and simplified, but yet it has all these ridges on the top of it. I can't really recommend it over the previous two Quinjets, but I guess it's a good build for kids, even though I'm sure they'd be satisfied with some awesome minifigures and Giant Man, which already come in the set. Give or take, the airport battle set is not only one of the best minifigure selections of the LEGO Superheroes line, but the Giant Man build itself is one of the best builds within the theme. Though the Quinjet here is just an unwanted build that definitely bumped up the price count and price, but that's just me speaking as an adult. If they excluded it and lowered the price, this would be much higher on my list from an adult perspective, but as it stands, it's still a great set and a nice deal for $80. Going back to the second year of the LEGO Marvel Superheroes theme, the sixth spot on my list is taken up by the LEGO Ultimate Spider-Man Daily Bugle Showdown set. It's a darn good interpretation of what may be the most iconic Marvel building. The exterior is gorgeous. I mean, on display, people will know what it is right away. My favorite part is the screen that shows J. Jonah Jameson. It's a clever build that is made up of 7 stickered 2x2 tiles. I'm glad they use that instead of just one larger plate or whatnot. It gives a more authentic look to a screen that you'd see on the side of a building, in which closer reveals the makeup of smaller TV screens. The interior of the Bugle, while not extremely detailed, is satisfying. The first floor is admittedly really weak, but the second and third floor are very good for a newspaper office in this city scale. There's some nice exploding play features here and there, and of course, I can't leave out the minifigures. The Doctor Doom is probably the only time we'll ever see a Fantastic Four character in physical LEGO sets. Nova is a key character for Ultimate Spider-Man fans, and comic book Guardians of the Galaxy fans, and he has a nice exclusive mold for his helmet. Beetle is a LEGO Insectoid minifigure, need I say more, and it's awesome to see an update of JJJ. Of course, Spider-Man is the same one found in the other two Ultimate Spider-Man sets at the time, and would be found in many more to come, but it's a necessary inclusion. All of this is packed into an excellent $50 set that I remember being surprised of receiving during Christmas 2012, a week before the set officially released. So I guess I have some good memories tied to it as well. Fifth on my list is the LEGO Avengers Age of Ultron Hulkbuster set from 2015. The Hulkbuster is an awesome mech. Sometimes I feel LEGO's mechs recently have been really repetitive across their action themes. This one has flavor like no other. I love how Iron Man is hidden within the suit. This is possible because of the focus on bulk opposed to height for this mech, which really works out. The leg and central build has a nice bulk to it, and the head is literally just a dome. It's accurate to the film, but more importantly, sturdy with an interesting look for display and for kids to play with. The side build is just a little fortress to hold the Hulk, another thing from the movie. Rather, the reason this is so high on my list is just how good of a deal it is. Big figs rarely, if ever, come in a set with a price of $30 or less. Sure, only this version of Scarlet Witch and Ultron are the exclusive minifigures to this set, but I really have to applaud LEGO for including Hulk in such a small set. Of course, Iron Man is also in here, and this version, while not exclusive, is the cheapest way to get him, and it is still a cool detailed version. So the reason the Hulkbuster is so high on my list is because of its value. The set is only $30, the Hulkbuster build is intriguing, sturdy, and just a very fun looking thing, and the minifigure and big figure selection is fantastic for the price. Next on my list is the Milano Spaceship Rescue set from the 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy lineup. When it comes to sets released before the movie it's based on comes out, I disregard whether or not it's accurate to the film. But here, the Milano is darn accurate to the bird-like design vehicle in the film, but even more importantly, the design of the vehicle in LEGO form is incredible. There's lots of cool techniques, like the wing clusters at the back and the nice color combination on the exterior with the blue and yellow. Then the interior is super cool. There's room to put minifigures in, and impressive little details. And as majority of sets in the line, the exclusive minifigures are just awesome. In my opinion, the Drax minifigure is definitely one of the most detailed minifigures LEGO has ever put out in terms of his printing, with all his detailed tattoos that cover his arms, body, and head. I love the little touch to make them LEGO-esque, which includes these little LEGO skulls instead of a real skull. Gamora in the alternate suit Star-Lord also look great, along with Ronan, who has a completely new mold for his hood. The only flaw I could find in this set is the villain vehicle, which in my opinion just isn't really interesting. I mean, it's accurate, it's sturdy, but just not as exciting when compared to the Milano. I get why it's here though, as a way to include villains into the set, pitting the battle between good and evil to the scene for kids to enjoy and play with. All that considered, it becomes evident why the Milano is so high on my list. I have to say the LEGO AntMan set from 2015 is definitely the most creative LEGO Marvel superhero set. The design captures the essence of size difference. There's big Antony and oversized LEGO bricks, but then there's small LEGO bricks and small Antony. This is a genius feature where you can have Ant-Man before he shrinks and when he shrinks. Look, the design for Antony isn't amazing, but it works. Heck, they actually had a design error which the LEGO group fixed later on. I have to give them credit for that. I covered the situation in my 10 LEGO set errors video, which you can watch by clicking here. But there's still 3 great exclusive minifigures, regardless of how inaccurate they are. Like, there's a bonus Hank Pym, and he really has no place in the final scene. The suit barely appeared in the film, but it's still really cool to get him as a minifigure. So for all in all, despite there being many amazing $20 Marvel sets, this is the one that stands out for its creativity, value, and exclusivity. My second favorite LEGO Marvel set is the Doctor Strange set, the Sanctum Sanctorum. This movie hasn't even come out yet, and gosh, this is just a bomb set. For $30, you get 3 intricately detailed, phenomenal exclusive minifigures. Not only that, but the build is so strange, it makes a display piece that will pop off your shelf. The Sanctum Sanctorum is filled with odd artifacts that clash with neutral tan colors of the room. They bring your eyes straight to the set. Of course, my favorite build of the set is the Portal Monster. The creepy, extensive tentacles and small, horrifying squid-like face give this set just a horrifying feel. This monster is also the best play feature of the set, in which the beast can be spun around with the twist of a cog at the back of him. The little things also make me adore this set, like the reference to the Wi-Fi password on the table, straight from the end of the last movie trailer, and the levitation play features, which I haven't really seen in other sets. The price, only $30, much like the Hulkbuster and Spidey Cycle set. With the flack LEGO gets for bigger prices on licensed sets, sets like this make the whole argument almost fall through. Doctor Strange's set is definitely strange, but it's a very amazing type of strange. LEGO tried something new with this one and succeeded, and definitely deserves the number 2 spot on my list. And my favorite LEGO Marvel superhero set of all time is the LEGO SpiderMan Web Warriors Bridge Battle set. The Bridge Battle set executes everything perfectly. Fantastic value, fantastic build, fantastic play features, and what I think is the best selections of minifigures in any LEGO Marvel set. All the minifigures are exclusive besides Spidey, and most of them are jam-packed with printed details. I don't mind that it's only part of a bridge because the design of it captures the rugged mishmash of gray a city bridge would look like, but the stickers and dark red trim give it the fun Spidey feel as a whole. While people usually complain about stickers, I think the stickers add a fun Spidey splash and New York flair to the set, and none were a pain to put on. There's hidden details I also love, like the vulture crow at the top of the bridge and the 2 hidden play areas underneath the bridge. The taxi build is probably my favorite taxi build from LEGO in terms of the exterior. The flat front is so much better than the curved fronts LEGO usually puts out with their taxis. It's just weird that it only fits one minifigure. The set itself is littered with play features, broken rails, hidden pitfalls, and secret web traps. Pack that all into a $100 set, and the LEGO Spider-Man Bridge Battle set is an awesome display piece, awesome play piece, awesome minifigure collection, awesome parts pack, and overall my favorite LEGO Marvel superhero set of all time. You guys can tell me your picks in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.